What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Paddy The Baddy edges out controversial decision win over Jared Gordon. In the co-main event of UFC 282, Paddy The Baddy Pimblett picked up an incredibly controversial decision win over Jared Gordon that continued his unbeaten streak inside the octagon. It was an interesting scene in Vegas as Pimblett's hand was raised following a 3-round fight that saw many score the bout in favor of Gordon. The fight left many, including Ariel Helwani, confused by how Pimblett had gotten the nod on the scorecards, given that many felt he won one round at best. Despite that, with this latest victory, the former Cage Warriors champion continues his run inside the octagon and completes a 3-0 sweep for the year. Despite many scoring the bout for Gordon, Pimblett explained in his post-fight octagon interview that he felt confident he was up 2 rounds going into the third. As a result, he didn't want to put himself in a compromising position. In his own words, the fight wasn't close at all, something many fans seem to take issue with. Although Pimblett did get the win, it seems as though the victory did little to help his stock. After the fight, fans took to Twitter to question just what was next for the Scouser. Given his fight week banter with Ilia Topuria, many were hopeful that the former lightweight would make his return to the division for a highly anticipated clash with Pimblett after Topuria picked up a dominant win over Bryce Mitchell on the main card. With the 155-pound division being incredibly stacked, there's no shortage of potential fights for the outspoken fan favorite. Play matchmaker in the comments section below and give us your thoughts on who Paddy The Baddy should fight next year when he returns to the octagon. The UFC announces Glover Teixeira versus Jamahal Hill for vacant light heavyweight title. The drama just kept on coming in Las Vegas. In the main event of UFC 282, Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev squared off for the title recently vacated by Jiri Prochazka following a horrendous shoulder injury. After 5 hard-fought rounds, the fight was scored as a split draw, something Magomed Ankalaev was furious about. After the fight, he revealed in his post-fight octagon interview that he may not fight in the UFC again following the robbery. At the same time, Jan Blachowicz admitted that Ankalaev should have been awarded the title, something many online seem to agree with. UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou was quick to also weigh in on the situation, tweeting that he believed Ankalaev won the fight as well. After the split draw, UFC President Dana White spoke at the post-fight press conference to give his thoughts on the situation, while also announcing a fight between Glover Teixeira and Jamahal Hill for the vacant 205-pound title at UFC 283 in Rio de Janeiro next month. In his words, the main event fight between Blachowicz and Ankalaev was, quote, terrible. When pressed for his thoughts on who'd won the fight, White revealed that he began to zone out after 3 rounds. The upcoming light heavyweight title fight will see Teixeira get another chance to reclaim UFC gold after his headlining fight with Jiri Prochazka fell through. On the other hand, the number 7 ranked Hill will put his 3-fight win streak on the line as he looks to capture UFC gold. What do you think is next for the division? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Darren Till suffers 3rd straight loss. It was a rough night at the office for Darren Till when he stepped into the octagon to square off with streaking South African phenom Dricus du Plessis. In the first round, Till absorbed a disturbing amount of strikes while against the fence, with many people confident that the referee was going to step in at any moment to call and end the fight. Following a brutal first round, Till managed to turn things around in the second as he appeared to be the fresher fighter. With the signature pressure style, he backed up du Plessis up while landing punches, elbows, and knees that saw momentum swing his way throughout the second round. In the third, however, it was du Plessis who ultimately wound up in top position before Till then gave up his back and tapped. The loss marked his 3rd straight at middleweight and extended his recent run at 185 pounds to 1-3, with his lone win coming against Kelvin Gastelum at UFC 244. For a fighter who has been training extensively with Khamzat Chimaev, many felt as though Till's grappling left a lot to be desired. At various points throughout the fight, both in the clinch and on the ground, Till looked to have little answer to the grappling of du Plessis. After the loss, many began to question what was next for the former welterweight title challenger. It wasn't that long ago that Till was an undefeated prospect challenging Tyron Woodley for the welterweight championship. Following the loss, Till suffered a knockout loss to Jorge Masvidal that marked the end of his welterweight run inside the octagon. He now finds himself stuck between a rock and a hard place. As an undersized middleweight, Till seems to be better suited for the 170-pound weight class. With that said, however, he missed weight twice during his welterweight run in the past, leading many to wonder whether or not he has it in him to make the cut down to welterweight again. What do you see in Till's future? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Before we continue, make sure you give that like button some love and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all of the latest news. Sean O'Malley weighs in on Ariel Helwani Paddy Pimblett feud. Streaking bantamweight contender Sean O'Malley has officially picked a side in the ongoing Paddy Pimblett vs Ariel Helwani feud. The two men have been added in the media over the course of the past week after Pimblett fired shots at the longtime MMA Journalist of the Year for profiting off of fighters. The comments sparked an hour-long response from Helwani, where he explained that Pimblett had previously messaged him for an interview before then directing Helwani to his manager, who suggested he get a budget from BT Sport to pay Pimblett for his time, given that the baddie allegedly had paid media bookings on his schedule at the time. Bantamweight #1 contender Sean O'Malley recently weighed in on the situation, saying,
Ariel is passionate about fighting, more passionate than anyone I've ever met.
Right.
Loves the sport.
Yeah.
And he found a way to make money doing what he loves. How can you hate on that? I found a way to make money doing what I love. I can't even wrap my head around where that's coming from.
He continued, explaining that for fighters, being interviewed by Helwani provides a pretty big platform to them. Although he understands paying a fighter for their time if there isn't much benefit to them, in the case of Helwani, he's one of the biggest voices in MMA, while boasting the premier MMA radio show. Many have also been quick to point out that Paddy Pimblett made an appearance on the MMA Hour back in 2021, where he spoke following his first win inside the octagon to reflect on the moment and what the future may hold for him. At the time, it seemed as though the two were on pretty good terms and no money was exchanged for the appearance. What did you make of the situation? Give us your thoughts on the comment section below. And now for our breaking news story of the day.
I can't believe, I'm pretty pissed off, to be honest, lad. Joe Rogan come in and said that was a close fight. I was like, what are you on about, lad? That was a close fight. Well, has everyone been smoking proper heavy kush or something? Know what I mean? What's everyone on about? Continue to be underestimated like I always am. I'm disappointed that I didn't get the finish. I want to get the finish. Know what I mean? I am very disappointed, but I won. All that matters when you look back in the history books.
James Krause reportedly set to sell gym in midst of betting scandal. The ongoing James Krause betting scandal has completely rocked the MMA world. After betting lines shifted dramatically during the lead-up to the Derek Minner-Shailin Nurden-Becky fight in November, Minner then went down early with an apparent knee injury before being TKO'd. After the fight, it was revealed that there was an investigation being opened into the suspicious betting activity, which prompted the UFC to cut ties with Minner and suspend Krause from cornering his fighters. At the same time, any fighters who continued to train under Krause were also to be suspended, something interim flyweight champion Brandon Moreno had a problem with. According to a new report that emerged prior to UFC 282 this weekend, Krause is now set to sell his gym, Glory MMA. According to the report, Krause is selling the gym for the benefit of his fighters so that they don't feel the ramifications of whatever the investigation turns up. The news comes on the heel of UFC President Dana White recently discussing the situation, saying,
Now that there's an investigation and it could be possible that it happened, yeah. Now it's something that we really have to, we've always told the fighters as all the gambling stuff started to heat up and, stay away from gambling. Obviously do you know how stupid you have to be to get involved in something like that? Everybody that gets caught, you always get caught. And all they have to do is follow the money. Follow the money. But there's a lot of people in prison for really dumb stuff. People really are that stupid, and, things are going to happen. And if this is all true, and this investigation ends up that this really happened, people are going to go to prison. People aren't going to go to jail. People are going to go to prison. And hopefully everybody else is watching and taking notes.
With Krause seemingly ready to move on, it'll be interesting to see how the investigation plays out and whether or not any suspicious betting activity is in fact uncovered. Stay tuned for updates as they become available. Thank you so much for joining us today. What do you make of what's going on in the fight world? Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all the latest news from the MMA Zone. See you next time.